to get yourself together. I need you.
This thing, what the three of you had, I don't even know what to call it, but it wasn't a friendship.
Hi, Anna. Thank you so much for being here on the channel. We're gonna be talking about today your new show, which is Imperfect Women, and now streaming on Apple TV. We're close to the finale, and I would like to say you have done a great job. But I want to know, how would you describe Detective Gans?
Hello. Thank you
Um,
so much for taking the time to talk to me today about this show that I love.
mm,
Um, I would say Vance, I mean, Gans is somebody that like I've never gotten a chance to play someone like her before because she's so sort of like contained and like calm and just cool and collected all the time. And usually my characters are a bit more wild and out there or like much more so
yeah,
in your face. So it was a really interesting and wonderful challenge for me to have to like stay cool and calm this whole time, especially when, these women are out here like acting crazy around me. So it was really fun.
yeah. I really enjoyed your scenes with Kerry Washington because I feel that those scenes are the ones that challenged you the most because she's so, tough, and she's, a really strong and powerful person, and you have to stay like still. So it's really interesting watching those scenes.
Working with her is a complete dream. She is so present and she just is really interested in the work and really interested in the scene and talking about it. And a lot of times, when you're playing a character that like the detective, you kind of get blown off and you kind of get like, okay, just, let's just go, blah, blah. But I think this is the difference of working when you're working with all women. Like women are, she's producing it, she's acting in it. There's a woman showrunner, there's women directors, there's women running the cameras, like women doing the costumes. And I feel like it was such a collaborative effort. And it was so wonderful. And there were so many women of color as well, like Latinas and Black and women. And just we were all there sort of doing it. But working with Carrie, she's so like interested and she just wants to know what you think. So it was really exciting to be able to play like that.
Yeah, I really would like to talk because for those that don't know, this is actually a novel, and so the series is based on the novel. But I would like to know if there's any difference between your character in the novel and versus the show.
I think my character in the book was much less, sort of just like on the periphery. It wasn't really fleshed out. And I don't even know if the character, I read the book, but I can't remember now. I don't even know if the character was a woman. I think it may have also been a man in the
Mm,
book.
yeah,
I just can't remember. I apologize. But I think what's really wonderful about this is that um, I just kind of got to start from scratch and be, and sort of figure it out. And I didn't have to, they didn't want me to rely on anything that was from the book, So it's always fun when you get to like, you know, make it up on your own and with, in the moment with Carrie and with these directors and with Elizabeth Moss and with all these wonderful, creative people. So that was beyond fun.
yeah. I really like how the show just keeps on going and going because I was watching one of the episodes. I think it was episode four, if I'm not mistaken. It's the one that's titled Nancy. And so far, that's been my favorite episode. I was like, oh my God, I need to know what happens next. So the show just keeps on getting, I think it unravels itself, as the show progresses.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool. Obviously, it's a really dark story, but I just love how it's being told. And I think that a lot of people are going to enjoy, watching the show.
I hope so. I mean, we had so much fun making it, and I love a good mystery show. I mean, I think it's so much fun to be able to sort of sometimes just escape, reality and watch this show and just get into like the sort of, the debauchery of it and the women being, nasty and naughty and diabolical and the men being terrible and, badly behaved, all while, dressed in glamorous beautiful
Yeah.
clothes, it's like it's old school. It's like Dynasty mixed with, I don't know, like Agatha Christie. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, I really like how the show addresses the whole social stratosphere, and how it deals, for example, in your case, your character has to deal with people that seem to be in an upper stratosphere, of the social thing. Sorry, I'm blanking out real quick,
I know
but
exactly what you mean, though.
yeah, but it's really interesting seeing that comparison between, for example, your character and Eleanor, or your character and Nancy, or your character and Mary.
Yeah.
That the show does that really well. I think it's really good.
And I think that's true to life, especially right now. I think there's so much disparity, like wealth disparity, and there's so much going on right now in the world with that, right? So it's interesting to see like the collision of that on your set, right? And I think my character definitely has a chip on her shoulder about rich people for sure. You know what I mean? Always
Yeah.
getting away with things. So that really helped add to my sort of characterization of the detective.
Yeah, and I want to know, what do you want people to expect from the final two episodes of the show?
It just like these next two episodes, it just goes. Like now it's just like da 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 da. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't stop. It's like hit after hit. Like we know the characters, right? We've developed everything. And I think like all the questions obviously are going to be answered. But you really get to see people's true colors, like everybody really just reveals themselves, like who they truly are. So you get to see like the gritty, underbelly of all these characters that have all, been trying to walk around like they're so amazing, even my character like hits some bumps and has some, missteps, shall we say. So it's
Yeah.
really exciting. Like nobody's safe.
What's your favorite character from the show? I know it's really difficult to pick because most of those characters are flawed and they're not actually like good people. So yeah.
I think my favorite character, look, I mean, the thing is, it's called Imperfect Women, but it should be called And Terrible, Horrible Men because, Liz,
Yeah.
they were acting foolish too. But I think my favorite character, if it's not Carrie, if it's not Eleanor, because I love her so much. I just love watching all her outfits. I mean, the clothes on her are so insane, and her apartment is so beautiful. But I actually really loved her brother's character. I
Yeah.
really like, he's so kind of like, he comes in and he's just saucy and sexy and like, but he really cares about her. I wanted to see more of him because and also, I mean, I love him as an actor too. So,
Yeah.
but I loved their sort of brother sister dynamic. I thought that was very cool.
Leslie Odom Jr., he's such a great actor. I
Oh,
love him in Hamilton. He has
yeah,
done other stuff, but he's just great. And seeing him in the show was really good.
yeah.
We're also wrapping up the interview, but I want to know, what's next for Ana Ortiz.
Well, I'm doing a podcast with Mark Indelicado for the Ugly Betty reboot called Viva Betty on Mi Cultura Radio with iHeart, which is really exciting because we really want to get the reboot going. So that, and I just finished voicing an animated series of Green Lantern because they're making Green Lantern
Oh,
a Latina teenage girl. So I play her mother, and I've never gotten to do a lot of animated voice work. So that was really, really, really fun. And I did an episode of Brilliant Minds with Zachary Quinto, which was really fun. And, I'm just out here hustling, Papa.
yeah. It's really interesting. In the case of Green Lantern, you're talking about Jessica Cruz, right? The
Yeah.
the character. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. It's really cool seeing Latinos on the big screen, whether it's in animation for live action. So
Yes.
congrats.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for being on the channel and many blessings. And I want to watch that reboot of Ugly Berry. I was a huge fan when the
Thank
show was
you.
airing. So let's see what happens next. Many
Fingers
blessings.
crossed. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I appreciate you.